Hey, great morning to you all. I hope that you've all woken up grateful to be alive and again another day. And I hope that you've reminded yourself of all of the things that you have to be grateful for. And I hope you've set yourself a high vibe for the day. And I hope when you're seeing a limit, you're getting creative, because that's why you're seeing a limit. And I hope when you're seeing any type of obstacle, you're learning, because that's what you need to do. And I hope when you're seeing setbacks, you're taking the time to assess and redirect your energies. And I hope that you're practicing the pause most of all. What do I mean by that? Hey, things happen, and our reaction to things are sometimes automatic. So I hope that you're being able to catch yourself in that reaction and breathing life into your being instead of being stressed out and constricted. Okay? Practicing the pause it's important. Why is it important? Because if an emotion, okay, let me put it this way. If an emotional reaction that we have within our body lasts from 60 to 90 seconds, then you shouldn't be making any decisions or actions from that. Ever. So if you take the time to practice the pause and you don't react, hey, great morning to you, Guy. Love ya. Have a great day. So if you practice the pause, then it allows that 60 to 90 seconds to happen, because I'll remind everybody this morning why we have emotional responses to things is just to merely stabilize our being. That's all. Because of the feelings that we're picking up according to what we're living. Thank you for the inspiration every morning. Hey, you're welcome, Guy. I love you. You know what? I need it just as much. Hey, morning, Trish. Have a great day. Love you. I'm happy to see you out here. Just a quick live with loads of loving reminders this morning. Yeah, so I'm going to remind everybody again, like I was saying, look, an emotion, any emotional reaction that we have to anything, it doesn't matter what it is, only lasts within our being for 60 to 90 seconds, no matter what it is. Anything longer than that, it's because we've chosen to feed it. So anytime you feel a reaction coming on, just breathe. Take that minute to breathe before you react to anything. Oh snap, Trish is here. Watch Trish step backwards. No. I'm happy to see Trish out here. Listen, Trish, let me tell you something, Guy. I'm going to tell you something, okay? When I was going to stop all these lives because people were telling me that I was too harsh and I was too real and I was affecting people in not a good way, I was about to can all of this. Because I figured, hey, if I'm not helping and I'm doing more harm than good, I'm going to stop. And she called me and said, you don't do that. So Trish is a really huge reason why I continued and why I'm here today doing the lives. She's a huge part of that. Okay? So she doesn't need to show up for the lives. Okay? Because she has, hey, she called me right away and said, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to hear that shit. You better be out there telling people what they need to hear, and no matter how harsh it is, just get it out there. And I love her for it. I love her for it. I needed to hear that. I needed somebody to be as real with me as I am with the world, and I can guarantee and count on Trish for that. Definitely. Yeah, I love it. Keep being you and continue these lives. I love it. Thank you. Okay, guys, back to what I was saying. Emotional responses, 60 to 90 seconds. So this is why it is so important to practice the pause. Because we react to things automatically and we fly off the handle. I know, because I do it. So it's really a conscious choice that you have to make to practice the pause. Okay? Seriously. Because you feel these reactions coming on. But you got to allow them. And when you allow them, you got to take the time to pause and breathe. Allow it to happen for the 60 to 90 seconds because that's as long as they'll last if you allow them to do their thing. Okay? But why do we have these responses? It's because of the energies that we're feeling. So if somebody is angering us in a way, well, we're feeling certain energies that is triggering that within us. It doesn't just happen. If we're feeling sad about something, hey, it's because of something that's happened. It doesn't just happen within our beings. Okay? But if you become in a state where you're constantly feeling a certain way, like anxiety, if you're always feeling anxious, well, that becomes a part of an automatic programming that your body believes it needs to do automatically because that's what you're doing. So you got to snap out of that and tell yourself good things. Seriously. Okay, so when you're feeling like, look, I catch myself doing it too, where I'm dealing with a situation and the things that are going on in my mind, nobody wants to hear. Okay? And I have to catch myself and I have to practice the pause because I've been taught all my, like, look, yes, I'm all love and light, but hey, I have reactions to things that have been programmed into me for 48 years, and that is more dominant than any mindfulness of a 10% brain usage, okay? So I react to things still that I have to catch myself and say, oh, what are you telling yourself, Tobi? Are you harming yourself or are you helping yourself here? Seriously. And I have to breathe certain things out and say, okay, have a great morning. I'm off. I love you, Guy. Have a great day. Okay? But things happen and we're all human and we're all living in a situation based circumstantial reality where a lot of things happen in a day. So I encourage you all to practice the pause, no matter what. Okay? No matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're living, no matter anything, practice the pause. Anyway, I'm going to remind you all this morning, too, about finding your baseline. And I've mentioned a lot about finding a baseline and being okay. But I never told you guys how to do it. So, how do you find your baseline and how do you find your place of being okay, in harmony and balance within your being? Find a happy place in your mind. And go there. Whenever you need to. And if you can't find a happy place in your mind, create one. Because that's what I had to do. Okay? So, if your head is filled with so much stress and doubt and shame and blame and guilt and denial, it's hard to have any room in there for anything good. But you have to create yourself a place of peace and tranquility within your own mind that you go to. And that's how you start training yourself to be okay amidst whatever's happening. And then you'll start trusting yourself, knowing that you're okay no matter what within your own being. That's the key. So instead of feeling all stressed out and not knowing what's, how to maneuver and being overwhelmed, because a lot of situations are overwhelming in our society now. Okay? And we're in hypersensory overload constantly. Okay? Seriously. And I know personally from growing up with all of we were not stimulated constantly like this. Hey, somebody wanted to talk to us, they had to come knock on our door. We weren't constantly tapped into everything and the need of us and being pulled every direction. And this is sensory overload for many of us. Practice the pause and understand what's happening, and understand that, okay, you can be okay no matter what by finding your baseline in your own being. Seriously. You can do it. And you can breathe and get through anything. Because literally everything is temporary. And check your thoughts, because your thoughts are producing biological feelings in your body. Okay? So aside from the emotional responses that we have to things because of what we're feeling and picking up, we actually create emotional states and emotional responses within our own beings by the things that we think, say, and do. So that I want you guys to take a look at. Just a bunch of loving reminders today. Okay? Because you got through the week. And you're going to have an amazing weekend. Filled with love and laughter and whatever else that your heart desires. Why? Because you matter the most in your experience. So you're going to do that for yourself. Why wouldn't you? Get the most out of every moment. I know I finally can. You know? And I will, as long as I'm breathing. But I'll be good to myself, and I'll be gentle to myself along the way. And I encourage everybody to do that too. Be gentle on your being. Don't sit, okay, look, there's things that you're living that may stress you out, yes. There's responsibilities that may stress you out, okay, yes. There's expectations that may stress you out, yes. But you can be okay instead of being stressed out with all of that stuff. Choose that for yourself. Love yourself enough wholeheartedly to do that for yourself. Stop trying to escape your reality if that's what you're doing. Change your reality. I know that's what I had to do. So, I encourage y'all to do the same. Okay? Anyway, some loving reminders today, guys. You guys can get through anything. Whatever you're thinking, you are producing as results. And you may not think that, but that's what's happening. And if you repetitively do something enough, it becomes automatic within your being, because your body will handle that, because it governs your energy for your body. So, reactions to things, that's why they become automatic. If you're constantly reacting a certain way to something all the time, well, then it's going to become an automatic reaction within your being, because that's how you've programmed it to be. But you can shift that. You can create your being to be anything you want today, because you're a brand new being today. How is that possible? Because you lived yesterday. You lived yesterday. So how can you be the same? You can't be. It's impossible. Nobody today is the same as they were yesterday. Change is the essence of life. It happens every day. We are creating results every single moment that we are breathing. Okay? So I'd like you to harness the fact that you are a magnificent creator. And you can be okay. And you can create yourself to be unconditionally loving and work in alignment with the power that fuels you for your experience. And I encourage you all to do it. It doesn't mean that you won't have emotional reactions to things. But don't let your emotions outweigh your intelligence. And there's another guy that I was watching, that I follow, and he talks about managing emotions. And it's real. You got to manage your emotions, because you can't do that. Who can? And there's kids modeling your behavior if you've got kids. If you're interacting with anybody that's younger than you, they're modeling your behavior. Seriously. You know, and we all blame kids for how they act and everything. No, you can't do that. You got to take a look at what they've modeled in their life. Seriously. Who are their role models? And you know what? All the parents, like, look, hey, I personally, being the grandmother now, I want to be that person that my granddaughter looks up to. Why should she be looking up to anybody else? Right? I want to be that stand up, loving, unconditional, loving person that she knows that not only is there for her, but she can openly speak about anything, and I will guide her to learn and explore and do everything wholeheartedly. Hey, Paris, great morning. I love you, girl. Have a great day. Okay? So, like, we all, we all could be better beings, no matter who we are. And I encourage y'all to do it for yourself, not anybody else. Everything else extended outside of you is only to enhance your experience. And everything's for learning. Seriously. So, even our kids, they are their own spiritual soul beings coming here for whatever soul contract and mission they signed up for. But before you were even born and took on your mission, guess what? You soul contracted to have that child. You know, I encourage you guys all to go check out Khalil Gibran. If you guys don't know about him, go check him out. He's the writer of The Prophet. And yeah, he's got a lot of books out there, and he was a huge part of my spiritual process when it came to understanding and how I see my children today. Yes, I love my children unconditionally, but they are not possessions of mine. They are universal warrior beings that are here for a reason. And I was honored enough to allow them through me because they chose me to come through. What do I want and expect from them? To be their own being. But I'm glad that I'm at a point now that, hey, I'm somebody that I could be, yes, they can model my behavior. Because I'm not doing anything that I should be shameful of, regretful of, feel sorry about, not feel, but I did for a long time. The way I treated myself was wrong. Why? Because I was never taught how to love myself. But now that I understand that, oh boy, I have seriously taught my children that, and I will continue to teach my grandchildren that. To love themselves no matter what society throws at them. And to own their power of their being and, oh yeah, teach them about the endless infinite possibilities of this universe. And yes, teach them about sacred geometry. Yes. And teach them about the laws of the universe. Yes. And teach them about their soul that is giving them life. Oh, yes. You know why? Because I will empower them with everything that I wasn't empowered with. And that's the change that I'm bringing. But that's a choice. And in my head, in my mindset, there is nothing more powerful than the power of my soul. How do I know that? Because I have had to tap into my own power of my soul to rejuvenate my body to stay alive. Seriously. When your kidneys have failed and they tell you that there's no chance of them coming back, but yet I can sit here today not on dialysis. Hey, what do you think did that? The unconditional love and the power of my soul did that. But I had to tap into that and get right in my own mind. So that's how I know the power of my soul. And that's how I know there's nothing greater than the power of my soul. Simple. And I signed up for this experience. Why? Because my soul told me, you need to be here. So you are gonna stay here. And that's what it's doing. If you can all remember correctly, there were a couple of months ago, I was sitting out right here with a staph infection that was eating all of the sinuses in my face. I lost the feeling of half of my face. I am now fully come on. There's no magic that did that. There's no doctor that did that. What did that? Oh, the infinite unconditional love of my soul. And me giving it the conditions to allow healing. I encourage you all to get it right within your beings. And understand that there is nothing that you could be living that is greater than what is giving you life. And everything is temporary. And you can push past anything, no matter what comes your way. So this is why I encourage you all head on. Deal with everything head on. Allow your soul to guide you. Don't let the opinions of others, the expectations of you from others, don't let any of that govern your being. Why? Because you matter the most in this experience. Because your soul is driving you, not anybody else. They have a soul that's doing what that soul has to do for that being, no matter who they are, what title they are, even if it's your kids. Because your kids are not your kids. They're universal warriors here for a reason, that have chosen you as their parents. And when you understand that, well, some people will actually take the time to listen to what their children have to say. Because it matters. And they're valid. And they're worthy, just as you are. But they are on their own soul mission, just like any other person you're going to interact with in your day. But everything is only an extension of you to enhance your experience, whether it be your senses, whether it be your ability to do anything, whether it be no matter what you're living. I encourage you all to set a high vibe, be grateful for everything coming your way, because everything is for learning. And I want you all to get the most out of your experience. Love yourself like you have never been traumatized. Love yourself like you have never been hurt. Love yourself like you have never been shamed, blamed, guilted, judged, any of that. That's how you got to love yourself. And teach others how to do it too. You know, we shame and we blame ourselves more than we shame and blame anybody else. You got to get that right within our beings, okay? Everybody does. Be unconditionally loving. Be loving in everything that you say and you do, for yourself, primarily. Don't stunt your growth or your kids' growth by limitations. self-inflicted limitations. Don't govern your parenting out of your own convenience. Should have thought about that before you had them. Anyway. Love you all. Get the most out of your experience. Set a high vibe. Push past anything because everything is temporary. Like I've mentioned, emotional responses, 60 to 90 seconds. Practice the pause. Take that minute. It's a mere minute. Don't govern choices, decisions, actions while in that state. Especially if you're deciding permanent things for yourself from temporary states within your being. Okay? And that's serious stuff to look at. Guys, when you see a limit, get creative. When you see an obstacle, learn. See a setback? Hey, it's okay. Assess, redirect. But most of all, practice the pause. Find your baseline within your own being and be okay. Understand that there is nothing greater than the power of your soul giving you life. Your soul is comprised of infinite unconditional love and the power of the all-knowing and a peace beyond understanding. Because genuinely, we're supposed to be at peace within our being. All the time. What does that mean? Well, hey, genuinely being okay and not being affected by anything happening. But with a shift of a mindset, you can live anything. And you'll get through it. It's your thoughts that are producing certain feelings in your body. Check your thoughts. Anytime you don't feel good, check your thoughts. What have you been telling yourself? And when you don't feel good, correct that within your being because you can. You can command wellness into your being. How do I know? I've done it. I have forced my body to override any projection of where I was heading genetically. Listen, the things that I've been able to do with my own body, medicine can't explain, but my soul can. I encourage you all to understand what's fueling you and giving you life. And know that you're okay. Because within your soul, the power of the all-knowing, oh my goodness, all your answers are there. Every single one of them. With a whole lot of answers that are there for questions that you may not have even realized yet within your being. You can create anything you want. But be okay during your experience. Set a high vibe. Be that person for the young ones to look up to. Teach them how to love themselves unconditionally. How are you going to do that? Because they're going to see you doing that. Speak always greatness into your being and into others. Speak highly of yourself. Don't put yourself down. Don't talk shit about yourself. And don't let others do that too. Seriously. Set a high vibe. Everything's for learning. Guys, you matter the most in your experience. Anyway, it's the end of the week. Be grateful. You got through the week. Look at that. On Monday, the stuff that you were dealing with, I'm sure it's not affecting you today. Everything's temporary. but be gentle and loving on yourself through it all. And be unconditionally loving to yourself primarily, so you can work in alignment with what is giving you life. And you're going to see things change. But nobody can do that for you. You got to own your power. And you got to own your being. And you got to own your greatness. And you have to understand that you are creating results with every thought and idea and speech, anything that you're doing. So create the right results for yourself. I encourage you all. Tell yourself good things. Tell yourself you're okay. You can get through anything. But most of all, there's nothing greater than the power of your soul that's given you life. All right? And you're loved. Infinitely, unconditionally. No matter what you're doing. All right? So get it right. I love you all. Get the most out of your weekend. All right? Fill it with love and laughter and everything that's great. Why? Because you deserve it. How's that? You deserve it. You got through the week. Lots of responsibilities. Lots of things you had to do. Well, fill your heart this weekend. Yeah. Because, yes, you matter the most in your experience. All right? Anyway, love you all. Have a great day. Peace.